Assalamualaikum. My name is Ayesha Sarwar, and today the topic of my presentation is nitrogen cycle, where nitrogen cycle is a biogeochemical process in which nitrogen is converted into many forms, consecutively passing from the atmosphere into the soil to the organism and then back into the atmosphere. Now, talking about nitrogen, it is a colorless, odorless and tasteless gas that makes up 78% of the atmosphere and is a constituent of all living matters, and it is also an essential element for living matters because they use nitrogen for the synthesis of proteins and nucleic acids. Now, as I said before, that in the nitrogen cycle, the nitrogen is converted into many forms. Here a question arises that why does nitrogen need to be converted in many forms? Because it cannot be used directly by the living organisms. They are dependent on the nitrogen in the soil minerals. Now, why can't the living organisms use nitrogen directly? This is because the nitrogen gas is quite inert. This makes it chemically unreactive, and thus a large amount of energy is used to break the bond, which is a triple bond between two nitrogen atoms. In order to see where this energy comes from, we have to study the nitrogen cycle. So the following steps are involved in the nitrogen cycle, which is the formation of nitrates, assimilation and denitrification. Now coming towards formation of nitrates, it can be done through nitrogen fixation, ammonification and nitrification. Now if we deeply study the nitrogen fixation, it can be done through atmospheric nitrogen fixation, biological nitrogen fixation, and then comes industrial nitrogen fixation. If we talk about the atmospheric, the enormous amount of energy is provided by lightning, which breaks the bond between the two nitrogen atoms, forming nitrogen oxide, which then dissolve in rain forming nitrates. In the biological nitrogen fixation, nitrogen is converted into ammonia by the bacteria called nitrogen fixing bacteria, as only certain bacteria have the ability to convert nitrogen into ammonia or to fix the nitrogen. In industrial nitrogen fixation, under great pressure, 600 degrees Celsius temperature and a catalyst, the atmospheric nitrogen is reacted with hydrogen to form ammonia, and where ammonia can be directly used as a fertilizer. If we talk about ammonification, it is a process in which the breakdown of proteins of dead matter or the nitrogenous waste, for example urea or uric acid, are converted into NH3, which is ammonia, by the ammonifying bacteria. And then comes nitrification, which is also a process of converting the nitrogen into its nitrites. First, the ammonia is converted into